Yeah. I think I would say, and again, I mean, you feel free to say something is dumb if you think that it is, or give a different angle or clarification. But God's common grace is not opposed to his supernatural or even regenerating grace or covenantal special grace. So, can he use providential means to put pieces in place for sake of then the next maybe higher level part of his promise? I'm good with that. So when he fulfills the new covenant to give new hearts to the house of Israel and the house of Judah, and that includes a restoration to the land and the boundaries that he's promised. When that happens, let's say when God lights that match to cause the fire, does that mean that 30 seconds before is when he gathered the material for the fire? Or could he have been gathering the material for the fire for generations?
Mhm.
And then when the match is lit and the pile is set on fire, and I mean that in a positive way now, like the revival sort of fire catching, could he have already brought back a good number of Jews into the land and then finished off with new hearts? Which I think probably there's some more attack that's going to come on them first, according to what we see as futurists, still
Mhm.
anticipating some of the things to come. So they need to some of them need to be in the land to fulfill the attacks that they're going to get,
Mhm.
on to then the fulfillment of the promises to give them the land with new hearts. So I'm not convinced that uh it is like that the only way to make it happen is that he gives new hearts to all the house of Israel and the house of Judah, and then he picks them up by the back of the neck from Canada
Mhm.
and then drops them off over into Israel on that day, that one day or whatever. And now it's fulfilled. So could he, you know, it seems reasonable to me that in his providence, the Holocaust, which I'm not a Holocaust denier, I think that there was an actual massacre, the genocide of the Jewish people in World War II under Hitler. So, is it possible? I think it's not just possible. I think we can see that God's providence used that atrocity, that evil, that wickedness to provoke a sort of sympathy among the nations for the Jewish people. How much of that did they deserve? I mean, they just in a common grace kind of humanitarian, like they're image bearers, dang sort of way. Okay, well, is there something we can do that would be a support to them? It seems like in God's providence, he used one ditch to kind of pop them back out and get some approval and support then from other nations to bring them back to and let them be a nation state again in part of the land, at
Mhm.
least.